there. So today I'm going to be talking about a documentary here about the Rolling Stones. This one here was a very, very interesting documentary. So I said it was 145 minutes long. So this pretty much talks about around the time they were recording Exile on Main Street, which a lot of people would say was like one of their kind of like top-notch albums. I would say, a lot of people talking about it would say it was like one of their best, actually. So it said in the spring of 1971, the Rolling Stones reluctantly departed the UK to take up residence in France. Keith Richards settled at a villa called, I don't know how you pronounce it, Nellcote in Villeneuve-Surmer. And this became the venue of the recording of much of the band's masterpiece, Exile on Main Street. Stones in Exile tells the story of the band's own words and thoughts, extensive archive footage of their time away from England, the creation of this extraordinary double album, which many regard as the Rolling Stones' finest achievement. Not to say that album there, Exile on Main Street, ended about 17, 18 songs on the album. So it came out sometime in 1972. I found like it was an amazing album. Let me show you the back here. Yeah, I have to say that's like probably like when people are talking about it, there was lots of people talking about the album. So they had, of course, they had like the people that were involved with it, you know, like at that time, the Stones at that time, which was Keith Richards on vocals, guitar, Mick Jagger on vocals, probably guitar, Mick Taylor on guitar. Then they had Charlie Watts on drums. I believe Bobby Keys played saxophone. They had other musicians as well. But at this time with the Stones, it was Mick Jagger, Keith Richards, Charlie Watts. Bill Wyman, I forgot he played bass. He was still with the Stones at that time. Mick Taylor. So yeah, 5 of them at that time. But yeah, it's amazing documentary about that album, the making of the album. So pretty much starts off with like the Stones from back in the day, like all the albums they had up pretty much prior to the making of Exile on Main Street. And here's the inside. There's probably probably pictures of them recording the album, I believe. Yeah, so is that Mick Jagger on guitar. But yeah, me myself, I considered this album, Exile on Main Street, would have to probably be up there, like they said. And lots of people also said that. I believe, trying to think who was, trying to think now. Martin Scorsese, I believe, also talked about the album. And quite a few famous people and other musicians that I do not know, other ones. I believe maybe Ronnie Wood was talking on it as well. But at that time, he was with Rod Stewart, played with Rod Stewart, and later on around '74, not long after this album was released, joined the Stones. But yeah, a lot of people talking about this album here, saying it's like one of the best Stones albums. And it had like other musicians talking about the album and that. I believe ones that I can remember, that I know, like I said, Martin Scorsese, which was a film director, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I think so. And Sheryl Crow was on talking about that album as well. So all the people that were talking about that album obviously were fans of this album, or fans of the Stones. But yeah, it was very, very interesting. I found the very, very interesting. So it would like start off with almost around the time the Stones were starting off. So that'd be around the same time the Beatles were I believe around the time maybe the Beatles first came to America, or around that time, almost that time. And around that time it was kind of like who was better, Beatles or Stones, you know. But like I said, if you're a fan of the Stones, definitely worth checking this out. Great documentary. I say it's like one of their most like masterpiece. That album, there, Exile on Main Street. An amazing album, and which I found too, which was quite interesting about this here, was when they recorded the album. Like I said, it would be in like Keith Richards' home at that time, his villa, where it was in France, and it would show them kind of like recording. So like I guess lots of bands would do that. They would record their stuff in the bathroom because probably acoustics, the sound was really good, and and then they would go another one. I believe probably Mick Taylor would go in the hallway and perform that. Very, very interesting of how they recorded this album here. But yeah, that would be my opinion. That's like up there. The Rolling this album, Exile on Main Street, would probably, like I have to probably agree, would have to be one of their probably best albums to date. I would have to say. So yeah, very, very interesting story behind the making of this album here. So drop some comments down if you've seen this before, and let me know what you think, and be greatly appreciated, and hopefully you enjoyed it. And before I go, it said here bonus features, which includes its extended interviews, and also what I liked about it too was they returned to the Star Groves and Olympic studios. So they recorded some of the stuff there as well, I believe, what they said. And years after, they it would show Mick Jagger, I believe Mick Jagger and Charlie Watts there years later. Like the last time they were there probably was like 71, around the time they were recording this album. But yeah, very, very interesting. So there was those little bonus features there. And besides that, an amazing documentary. So there's the back. So let me know what you think. And like I said, what was very interesting, it would show other musicians. Like I said, Sheryl Crow, one that I can think of, talking about that album, and other people talking about Exile on Main Street, and a lot of them saying that that was probably like their best Stones material, the best Stones album, like one of the best stuff they put out. So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. And thank you so much for supporting this channel. Greatly, greatly appreciate it for that one. And hope you enjoyed it. And see you in the next video. And bye.